Hello, this is MatterLove4 here, and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about Azor Ahai, or the Prince Who Was Promised. He was a hero who fought in the long night against the White Walkers, and ultimately ended it. He was a very important figure, as he ended one of the largest times of horror that controlled the entire known world. Not only Westeros was affected by the coming of the others, but also Essos and the rest of the globe, with tales being told of this hero all the way in Yi Ti. He has many names: Warrior of Light, Son of Fire, Warrior of Fire, Harakun the hero, Yin Tar Nefarian, and an Eldritch Shadow Chaser. He's told to be from Ashai, the same place where Melisandre and Quaithe live, and he ordered a sword of immense power, known as Lightbringer. This sword was made after great struggles from Azor Ahai. He first made the sword over 30 days and nights, and tempered it in water, but the sword broke. He repeated the process for 50 days and nights, and instead tempered it by plunging it into the heart of a lion. Again the sword broke, so on the third try he worked on the sword for 100 days and nights, before finally plunging the blade into the heart of his wife, Nissa, and finally the sword is ready. It is written that whatever Azor Ahai killed with the sword burst into flame. He used his sword to combat the White Walkers and end the long night. But why is he important now, in the Game of Thrones universe? Well, it is prophesied that Azor Ahai shall rise again. The Lord of Light will pick a new champion to fight during the long night and save the world. But who is this person, this prince that was promised? This question has been asked for a long time, but what is the answer? There are certain requirements stated in the prophecy that must be fulfilled for a person to become Azor Ahai, and Jon Snow seems to fit a lot of them. It is said that the prince will be born amidst salt and smoke, but Jon's birth location is unknown, and if it is the Tower of Joy, then that is not very salty or smoky, to be honest. But the prophecy may mean something else, not a birth as such, but instead a rebirth. And in Season 6, we see the rebirth of Jon Snow. We see him brought back to life from the dead. And in the books, most of the criteria are met by this death. His wounds smoked after he was stabbed, and the salt comes from the tears of Bowen Marsh as he plunged his knife into Jon for the watch. And the bleeding star from the cloak of Sir Patrick, whose sigil is a star, as he's being beaten against the wall by Onweg Wondar, the giant. Furthermore, Azor Ahai will have the blood of the dragon. And if R plus L equals J is true, then Jon Snow is Azor Ahai reborn. However, these little details, such as the star, the tears and the smoke, are not featured in the show, which could lead to Jon Snow not being Azor Ahai, as the show is very important, in the universe. He isn't born amid smoke or salt, or under a bleeding star in the show, even though Melisandre seems intent on the fact that Jon is Azor Ahai, shown by her ability to resurrect him. But she has been wrong before, and there have been others brought back from the dead, for example Beric Dondarrion, that does not necessarily make him Azor Ahai. There are also other characters that have survived situations where they should have died, mainly Daenerys Targaryen. She was also reborn, like Jon, but in a different way. She was reborn in the pyre of Drogo as someone stronger and better than before, someone more powerful than she was when she went in. She was not harmed by the brutal fires of the pyre, as some may suspect. And with this rebirth comes other proof of her being Azor Ahai. Firstly, the flames not dealing any damage to her is proof that the Lord of the Light does support Daenerys. As well as this, the smoke comes from the funeral pyre, and the salt from the sea nearby. The salt can also be a reference to the fact that before this, Drogo had said that he would travel across the Salt Sea to Westeros to help Daenerys take back the Iron Throne. And in Season 2, a red, bleeding star is shown throughout the world. Dany obviously has the blood of the dragon, and even more evidence is that a young egg, or brother of Maester Aemon, hears that the birth of Azor Ahai will also bring the rebirth of dragons when they are awakened from stone, which happens to Dany as her stone eggs hatch into baby dragons. Maester Aemon on his deathbed also states that he believes Dany to be Azor Ahai, stating that he should be with her to guide her. So clearly, Dany is Azor Ahai. However, there's another spanner in the works. Rhaegar Targaryen. He believed that the dragon had 3 heads, and so did Maester Aemon, as well as many others. It has been prophesied that the dragon has 3 heads, and this means that the prince that was promised is not just one person, but also but 3. 3 Targaryens fighting alongside one another to end the long night. Jon, Dany, and someone else. Perhaps Aegon, but he's not included in the show, so perhaps not him. Perhaps Tyrion, if you've seen my Tyrion Targaryen video. But who knows? Although this does help towards proving R plus L equals J, as Rhaegar believed that the prince would have 3 heads, his 2 children with Elia Martell, and another. Many people believe him to have taken Lyanna to create this 3rd head, as he had heard that the prince would have a song of ice and fire. So Rhaegar united the houses Targaryen and Stark to unite ice and fire and create the prince who was promised, Jon Snow. So really, both Dany and Jon could be Azor Ahai, and might both simultaneously be Azor Ahai. Which leaves one question: who's the 3rd head of the dragon? A question that cannot be answered at this time. So that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.